Hey everybody, it's Stephanie Garrett with the HomeSync team and eXp Realty. And I just wanted to hop on here real quick because there's information that I want to share with you that I think that you will find very interesting. Especially if you are a brand new homeowner. Perhaps you just bought a brand new home or resell, new to you. And it's time to figure out whether or not you need to file for your homestead exemption. So I've got some information that I'm going to share with you today, starting with the definition of what your homestead exemption is. And this is information that I actually pulled from the comptroller's office. It says, what is a residence homestead exemption? A residence homestead exemption removes a portion of or the total amount of the property's value from taxation for property tax purposes. Texas offers a variety of partial or total exemptions from appraised property values used to determine local taxes. A partial exemption removes a percentage or a fixed dollar amount of the property's value from taxation. A total or absolute exemption excludes the entire property from taxation. Taxing units are mandated by the state to offer certain exemptions and have the option to decide locally on whether or not to offer others. So that's the general information about a residence homestead exemption. Now, how do you file for a homestead exemption? When you closed on your property, you should have received paperwork from the title company or lawyer with your closing documents in it. And one of the documents that they usually provide you, especially at the title companies, is an application for your county appraisal district. If you've got that, then all you need to do is fill out that application and take it down to the appraisal district along with your supporting documents. Your supporting documents is usually a recorded deed. So you should have gotten a recorded deed in the mail after you closed on your property. That may have taken a few weeks. And then that document along with the application needs to be returned to the appraisal district's office. Once you've turned that in to the appraisal district's office, they're going to review it and they're going to determine what kind of an exemption you actually qualify for. Typically, it's no more than 20% discount on whatever the, I wouldn't say a discount, it's 20% of the market value. So it's a really good idea to go down and file for your exemption. So to answer another question that you may have is there a deadline for filing for your homestead exemption? And the answer is yes. So if you want to take advantage of the tax exemption for 2023, you have to file the application and provide the supporting documents before April 30th. Now, I always tell everyone, it's January 1. And, let's get down there as quickly as possible and let's turn in that application and provide the supporting documents as quickly as possible. Now, you may have purchased your property in 2022 and it may have been long ago. Let's say you purchased in June and here it is January 2023. You may have filed an application along with your supporting documents in 2022 and expected to get an exemption on the taxes for the first year that you were there. Can't happen. And here's the reason why. The people who lived there prior to your being there, if they had a homestead exemption on the property at the time that they were selling the property, then that means you have to wait until the following year, because you cannot have the seller filing an exemption on the same property that you are filing for an exemption. Therefore, everyone is usually told, come January of the new year, get yourself down to your county appraisal district and file for your exemption anytime between January and April 30th. Now, where would you find the application if you got one? It would have been in the documentation that you got from the title company or from the lawyer if you went through a lawyer. But that's when the deadline is. You want to know who determines if you qualify for the exemption, and that would be the appraisal district's chief appraiser. They are responsible for determining whether or not a property qualifies for taxation or for exemption, sorry. They grant exemption applications, or they can disapprove them, or they can ask you for more information, or they can ask for modification, and they can deny them. So what happens if they deny your application for exemption? You can appeal the chief appraiser's exemption determination by filing a protest with the appraisal review board. That's what you would have to do. So just keep in mind that it's early January, and if you've recently purchased a property in the last 12 months, then you need to go down now and file for the homestead exemption. And I'm going to give you an example of why this is so important. Now, I'm going to use Mrs. Smith as an example. Mrs. Smith has a home, and that home's appraised value is $300,000, and that is before exemptions. Now, she happens to be 68 years old, so there is also another exemption that she may qualify for, and that is the 65 or older exemption. So not only does she get to apply for a homestead exemption, but she can apply for this 65 or older exemption. So the following exemptions can be applied regarding her $300,000 valued property. The general, mandatory, now this may not be for our county, I'm just reading one that was presented. General mandatory exemption would be about $40,000. Okay, then your local option could be up to 15%. That would be a $45,000. Then her mandatory 65 or older would be $10,000, and her local option 65 or older exemption would be about $3,000. You add all of that up, subtract that away from $300,000, and she's only going to be taxed on $202,000. That's a huge savings. That's a really huge savings. Anyway, that's just an example. I don't know if that was helpful for you or not, but I hope that it was. If you happen to have any other questions regarding your tax appraised value, or if you want to try to find the application, all I would say is go down to your county appraisal district and ask them for a copy of it if you cannot find yours. It should have been in your title closing documents that the title company sent home with you after you closed on your property. Anyway, I just wanted to share that information with you. There's so many other exemptions that are available out there. I think there's like 10 different exemptions that you can file for, depending on the property and depending on you. Because you can file for senior exemption, you can file for disability exemption, veteran exemption. I think there's even an exemption for people who are disabled, but their homes are from a charitable organization. So be sure to go to the appraisal district website and find out exactly what you actually qualify for, because the exemptions are out there to help save you money. So again, this is Stephanie Garrett with the HomeSync team with eXp Realty. And I just wanted to share that bit of information with you because I feel like that's one that sometimes falls through the crack. People buy a property and they live in it for years and they never take the time to file for that exemption, and they end up spending thousands of dollars more in taxes than they actually need to. So if you have any questions about this, you can always reach out to me. You can find me at thehomesinkteam@gmail.com, or you can call me or text me at 281-622-6021. Again, my name is Stephanie. Have a blessed day.